giant gap.
What is this? What is this stuff?
Between your public persona and your private life. Okay, don't have a giant gap.
Why is he always creating these charts, bro? What? Why? I feel like this is like the 5th chart. Okay, all right, whatever. We'll take a look at this gay little
At the hearing.
Wait, what? Hold on. Is it gonna describe why is he making this chart? Okay, well, I don't care. Wait, when does he talk about Empath-Chan? I don't want to see Connor's reaction to this. Who is this? Kikode? Counterpoints. Foodshops doesn't suck. What?
Okay, Keycode. I'm not going to let you distract from the content because people, I'm sure they want to hear less of me yapping and more just want to get through the content using me as a vehicle. But still, man, listen, I'm not going to say being an unrepentant con is acceptable. It's just not. If it's acceptable in DGG's community, if it's acceptable in other communities, you know, it is what it is. Y'all do you. I think your liberal tolerance has extended too far. Okay, so I'll try not to get wrapped around the axle on it, but especially if you're looking at like prepubescent, immediately pubescent, immediately post-pubescent cartoon drawings of children, I think you're in the head. People, I'm sure
that's crazy.
Want to hear less of me yapping and more just want to get through the.
Yeah, he literally talks about 20 times than I do. Like, people are even surprised that I was known for that. Like, these days, when like newer people join my community, they don't even know about my history with that. But like when it comes to Connor, like that is like the first thing that you know about me is that like I'm an unrepentant con. Oh my god, dude.
Content using me as a vehicle.
Also, how am I an unrepentant one? Like, is there a difference between an unrepentant con and a repentant one? Like, what is the? Is the difference is that like one repents and the other one does not repent. I guess I'm sorry for having born with fetishes and attractions and what the bro, I am living in this guy's head rent free every day. There's just no way, right? Like, there's no way I take up this much mental space for him. Like, I refuse to believe it because I just think so highly of him. Like, what the
and you should be socially ostracized at minimum, and at maximum, maybe there should be criminal penalties. So I understand that might.
What?
Defend whatever like libertine, giga liberal perspectives you guys have. But you know, whatever you think about my very moderate, I would say conservative criticism of con as a phenomena, just know that if you dislike that perspective, the feeling's mutual if you're sweeping for con. I'll leave it there.
Steven sweeps for con. Would you arrest Steven?
Well, like, I didn't even like Steven's answer. When Steven's answer was like, well, nobody's really being harmed, so, you know, who cares? I was like,
yeah, he's sweeping. That's literally what you...
That's bullshit.
Bro.
But I didn't want to scream at the man. He was already under enough pressure as it was.
But you're just holding back because of mercy?
Court. And the...
Officer Nasty said that's really weird because on the Darius stream, NSE kept saying, "Who's Empath-Chan? I don't know her. I don't know her." Empath-Chan is a trad wife. But if Connor spoke with her and explained the drama, something doesn't add up. No, because I said that I didn't know her, right? Because you always want to have this caveat of if they end up being different than their exterior persona, you don't want to throw somebody under the bus. So I had no idea how much of it was true and how much of it was internet bullshit. But I just knew, like, so for instance, if you type Empath-Chan into Twitter search, because I think I heard about her randomly before Steven and her hung out, and they were like, oh yeah, that's like the, it's really bad that Steven is followed by and follows this Nazi e-girl, right? And basically, if I go through Empath-Chan, I see the Darius thing. I see Steven and her hanging out in real life. I see me at the No Kings protests, and it was posted 15 hours ago, and that might be Steven's gun. So they might be shooting guns and shit. So she's making jokes about
Oh, he's jealous that he got replaced by Empath-Chan. Oh.
like shooting Democrats on Twitter. That's cool. There's a picture of her wearing a dress. There's a picture of her arm that's all cut up. Looks like she's a cutter.
Yikes.
And yeah, dude, sorry. This is just fucking very R-slurred. So I'm not really there's a picture of her pointing her hand up to a Nazi flag or a Nazi projection. And somebody said that she does look like a mix of Lav and Melina. Listen, man, I see it. All right, I see it. So I'm not really in the Reddit. I don't really do a lot of Reddit, so I don't care. But basically, like, she does look like the queen of BPD girls. And so, yeah, I think that's fucking.
Wouldn't it be a plot twist if Empath-Chan was actually the most stable of all of them? Like, even though she cuts, right? Even though she cuts, like, wouldn't it be such a shocker if she just turned out to be entirely normal? Bro, that would be so cinema. I mean, the chances of that being true is like nothing, right? But like, just imagine if that would be the case. It would be a plot twist that not even the writers of this season could come up with. Okay,
crazy. I think that's a crazy.
And like they came up with the green card fraud
move, even if it was her idea. Even if it was her idea to be like, "Hey, Steven, I really like you. You know, you make a lot of really good content. Let's hang out together." And then Steven's like, "Yeah, cool. That'd be chill." I think that's a crazy move. Even if it wasn't Steven's idea. If it was Steven's idea, I think that's even crazier. If he was like, "Hey, Nazi e-girl who cuts her arms and hangs out with Nazi flags, smokes meth, and talks shit about my kid. Let's hang out IRL. Let's go shoot guns." I think that would be fucking bananas. That's a bananas move. Yeah.
Does she talk shit about Destiny's Kid?
Well, and again, to defend Erudite a little bit, I said I only know the outside of Empath-Chan. I don't know who she really is. I don't know what her politics are. I don't even know whether or not she's trans. I don't know shit about fuck. I just know what I see from the outside, and from the outside, it sounds like bad news.
Dude, this Empath-Chan stuff is so retarded. It's so retarded. It's so retarded. It's so retarded and boring. Oh my god, literally, who cares? Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna turn on the volume for this one. This one.
Doobie, just sent you a compilation in DMs. Nice, Doobie. Okay. Bro, you know what? I feel less bad for Doobie day by day, okay? If Steven ends up doxing Doobie, I literally do not give a fuck anymore, okay? Sorry. I think I defended Doobie, like, on multiple occasions, just simply because, like, I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I think it'll be unhinged if Steven doxed Doobie or some shit, right? Bro, Doobie is like in a snaking around, obsessively talking about Destiny in the weirdest parasocial way. Like this guy is a stalker on God. Okay, bro. I think at some point, like if you're trying to sever Connor's like bridge with Steven, isn't that harming Steven's business relations? I feel like that would satisfy my criteria for doxing, right? Is that if you are trying to harm someone's reputation, you're trying to present it in a public space, you're trying to end their career in some way or making an effort like that in some way, wouldn't that you like I feel like you can justify that under my system, no? Well, whatever.
Sounds crazy. Dude, I would
do.
Yo.
What the fuck? What?
I'm sorry. This isn't funny to me. This isn't funny to me at all. There's nothing cute or funny about this. There's nothing ironic. There's nothing meta-ironic. There's no social commentary. This isn't a Sam Hyde fucking skit. This is a schizophrenic woman walking up and spitting on random people. Yo. I'm borderline fucking angry. When the fuck was this? How recent is this shit? That moves from R-slurred to something else.
Wait, hold on. How is this like crazy and makes him angry, but then not the CP possession chart, the CP possession allegations? What the fuck, bro? I can't square this circle. Not a good look. No kidding. like this is what I hate is that like please do not make me defend Empath-Chan. Just don't do it, okay? Please, for the love of God. Like I don't even think I would like her at all, okay? I don't think I think I would hate her interpersonally, okay? But like just don't, please do not do it. Please do not do it. Just please. Bro, just please do not make me defend Empath-Chan because I will defend her, okay?
That moves to like, you know. Anyways, I'll try not to spurg out too much until you guys give me more information. But let's just say I'm judging that pretty fucking harshly.
Okay, I think judging is okay. I don't really care. Like, I don't really care if you judge. Okay, like if you judge, that's I don't really give a fuck about that.
The crazy to freaky metric might be off the charts, but yeah, that's the kind of shit where you get your throat slashed. You know, that's not like fun. That's like bad. That's like incarceration. Like all the shit that she did, if that's her, let me just try to be giga charitable, okay? If that's her pro.
Do you think pedophilia is a fetish? No. I think pedophilia, I think people have done like a scientific study on this before. I think that people compare like actual academics probably compare pedophilia more like, let me see. Because I think that the way that pedophilia works is more unique than the fetish. I think the way it works is that it's more of a sexual orientation. And I believe the reasoning is because while people are attracted to more feminine shapes and while people are attracted to more masculine shapes, on the other hand, pedophiles create a third category of body shape that they're attracted to, and it would be like neither of these two, right? If that makes sense. So in essence, it would be more of a orientation, like it would be scientifically more of an orientation than it is a fetish, but whatever.
Profile. And
Yeah.
that's her doing that. Hold on, let me back up.
Like a genderless. Let's
say that
kind
was
of thing.
5 years ago. And she was super unmedicated and she was kind of a schizophrenic crying out for attention. And since that time, she's become medicated and she's no longer that crazy. And she kind of disavows it, but, you know, not really because she's trying to maintain like an aura or a mystique around her personality. That would be one thing. Like I would kind of be like, okay, well, you know, she was a fucking psycho 5 years ago, but they put her on lithium, they put her on meds. And as a result, you know, maybe she's getting better over time. However, when you pair that with literally at the trip that they're at, she's calling Darius like an N-word and an F-slur. I think the Nazi posts are within the past.
And Darius wants to play the black game. He gets the black game. Says the N-word like a white person. So, I mean...
Past year. The posts about shooting at targets at the No Kings protests is within the past 24 hours. That doesn't seem like there's any change to her whatsoever. That seems like she's the exact same fucking person. And I'm telling you, like, if you spit on a homeless person in front of me, I don't care what fucking gender you are. That's going to be a bad day for you. Like, dude, I'll put you on the ground. Like, I'll be gentle.
Yeah, okay, and people are allowed to make friends with pieces of shit. That's why Steven is friends with you, because you're a piece of shit. Like, what the fuck? Here's the thing, all right? I literally do not give a fuck if someone makes friends with a piece of shit, okay? Like, I'm not here to defend Empath-Chan specifically. I'm here to defend the prospect of making friends with people who are problematic, okay? Because I remember when Connor said that he would visit Steven in prison because they are friends. Like, if Steven was convicted on child charges or child, like, porn, like, possession, he would visit Steven in prison and he would still be his friend. He would still be Steven's friend, even though he's guilty of possession. If that is true, why wouldn't you extend that same principle to Empath-Chan? That's crazy. It's crazy that you give yourself that level of charitability, but you wouldn't give anybody else that same level of standard. Okay, I'm sorry, but like that's hypocrisy right there. Okay, I mean it's fine. I respect that opinion. Okay, that opinion goes hard. Okay, you have a friend who is a rapist. Okay, you would still be that friend, right? You would still be their friend, right? Because you would visit them in prison and tell them you fucked up, but I'm still going to be here to emotionally support you, right? I fucking 100% down. Okay, super down with that. Okay, but the thing is that you can't extend that to, oh, if Steven gets into prison But Steven isn't allowed to make friends with pieces of shit? What? What are you talking about?
But I'll put you on the fucking ground. I'll put a knee on your back. Not
Yeah, no one cared when Destiny was friends with Zerka. And wasn't Zerka hanging out with underage girls or some shit? Like, during that time, was he ever exposed for hanging out with underage girls? Fuck me, dude.
on your neck. I'll call the cops and I will sit there until cops incarcerate you. That's not something that I would tolerate in my fucking presence. So
Okay, fine, sure.
if Steven is tolerating that in his presence, I would want to know why.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is there any evidence of Empath-Chan like spitting on homeless people while Steven was also there? Hello?
Because that is just some fucking
I'm not defending
shit.
Empath-Chan here. I'm defending
That's like
the relationship.
evil staring into the abyss psycho shit. So what is it? Is it a viral marketing strategy? Is it a
Because guess what? Okay, some people have like very, very good frontal aesthetics, okay? Have a good image. All right. They try to present themselves in a good image, but they're actually a piece of shit in the background, right? I believe that is what Connor is. I believe Connor presents himself as a moral and just person.
Is it she's just that crazy that he wants to play with the edge? Almost any excuse you come up with, I'm going to think is stupid as fuck. But there's also like a wrong and a right here too. And the wrong and the right is if any of that behavior is recent and it's not apologized for, that's the kind of person you shun. You do not engage with that kind of person. That shit is fucking evil. Mr. Boop says, is it too much to ask for a stream summary thus far? Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, I think this is the perfect time to summarize. So what ended up happening was we were watching a Pisco versus Distributus debate. We probably cut it off a little bit earlier than I should have, but Steven went live in order to cover the transcript. So far, it feels like a rehashing of the arguments, and I went ahead and drew like a orbit map of all.
Yeah, this is only the 5th fucking one, right? Wait, where am I? Aw. The fuck?
All the people who interact with each other. It's not quite done, and I'll explain it at some point, but effectively, like, this is like a relational map. Okay, this is like a relationship map within the Twitch and YouTube political sphere. What is freaking me out, which maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm just getting into this space right now.
Bro, I wonder if Counterpoints would like put me on the same level as Empath-Chan. Oh my god, that would be cinema, but that would be unhinged. Like, can you imagine if like Counterpoints put me on the same level as like Empath-Chan? Bro, that would be so delusional.
But one of the things that Doobie, of all people, just sent me, he's trying to fracture my fraternal relationship with Steven.
Then it's doxing
he just
time.
Sent me a compilation
it's
of
doxing time,
Empath-Chan.
boy.
And for those of you who don't know, Empath-Chan is a girl that Steven hung out with probably within the past week. Right before I went on my trip, he posted a picture of hanging out with her. And I don't see the date stamps. I don't know who it is, or I don't know when it was. But Empath-Chan poses with not.
Bro, can you just imagine, like, just be me, Doobie, okay? You express explicitly to Steven, to Pisco, to everyone around you that you're not okay with being doxxed, that you're not okay to have your personal identity be threatened. You're not okay because you have a family and there's people who want to see you dead. Okay, that's fine, Doobie. Okay, so why are you keep doing it? Why are you still poking the bear, right? Like, the thing is that like it's fine if you're afraid of doxing. That's the entire point of doxing, is that it is something that is terrifying and not good. So therefore, it is to attack someone else, right? So yeah, like why? If you're poking the bear and you're just poking the bear, like, I'm not gonna blame if you get like fucking doxed. Jesus.
Flags, makes jokes about shooting people at a No Kings protest. She's an e-whore on Twitter. And then Doobie just sent me a compilation of her walking around in public, screaming like a wounded animal near children. And then also her walking up to random people on dates, random homeless people, random people on the street, and spitting on them.
Whoa.
So, and then also when I was looking up information on her Twitter, she basically has cut lines all the way down her arm.
Yeah, that's not
so
good.
For me, number one, if you want to shock my sensibilities, it happened. I am finally shocked by something. But number two, if there isn't an excellent explanation of how the person who spits on homeless people.
I agree that this space needs more MS Paint like shit, right? But the thing is I wish people would make MS Paint diagrams of things that are harder to explain rather than things that are just easy to explain. Like this stuff is like we already understand the orbit map. We already understand the fucking thing. Why would you ever just like just make an orbit map of something else? Okay, like you look like you look like a toddler trying to draw like a little map of your house. Like that's the way that you come off. Like we already know how the house is structured. You don't need to draw a map of your fucking house. You look like some autistic kid with Asperger's or some shit. I don't know.
Is now morally different. I find that more repulsive than just about anything you could possibly do. Like, you do drugs and you're a fuck up, yeah, I'm gonna judge you a little bit. You're a sexual degenerate, yeah, I'm gonna judge you a little bit. But if you find random innocent people or random homeless people, like the people who are most vulnerable in our society, and you physically attack them, I think you should get like physically fucked up and or incarcerated. And so maybe there's like a mental health issue there where like incarceration or going to like being committed to a mental.
I'm not gonna disagree with this. Like the thing is I think people are kind of expecting me to virtue signal about this a little bit, but you know what? I'll do it. I'll virtue signal a little bit. I don't think it's okay to spit on homeless people, obviously. All right. I think that Empath-Chan doing that is unhinged. Yeah, that's unhinged. That's like physical assault, pretty much, right? That's not good. Because if you're like gurgling acid water in your mouth or some shit, if you're like trying to gurgle acid water in your mouth and like you are, I don't know, making some kind of compound that you're then spitting onto people that would melt them, or I don't fucking know, anything weird, just something that's fucking weird, right? Like we don't even know what the fuck was in your spit. Like what the fuck? That's weird as fuck. Listen, if you come here expecting virtue signals on a regular, you're gonna get nothing. Okay, I'm sorry.
Health facility is the answer over what my instinct is. But I'll tell you what, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you spit intentionally on another human being in front of me, especially if it's unprovoked, that's going to be.
I think this answers the question. Connor would put foods into the sexual degenerate category. He said that I could belong in prison. Is that not the same level as Empath-Chan? I feel as though, to me at the very least, like he is placing me on the same level as Empath-Chan. Because if he is saying that I belong in prison potentially for the worst, you're also arguing that Empath-Chan is also deserving of prison. It does feel as though he's putting me on the same level as Empath-Chan. I mean, it's kind of weird, bro. But what can you do?
Bad day for you. That's going to be a fucking terrible day for you. And I don't care what sex or gender you are. I don't care how much money you make. I don't give a fuck about any of that. So I'm kind of wondering what the bigger story is.
The black comedy of all this is that you and Connor are more like each other than you're similar to normies. Yeah, but the thing is that I don't pretend that I'm a normie. I don't pretend that I'm a normie. But Connor does. Connor pretends he's a normie. He's the farthest thing from a normie.
Now I'm borderline distracted from the content.
You know what watching Connor kind of feels like? Watching Connor feels as though he is giving every single reason to backstab Steven. Like, it feels like Connor, every single time Connor talks about the degenerate things that Steven does, it sounds like he's giving all the justifications that he would need to backstab Steven, but he just can't bring himself to do it. Does that make sense? Which is the issue. Like he's giving himself all the... It's like he's constantly prepping to do it, but he never does. Why? Just do it. Just do it already. Rick Montana, Foodshops projection? Maybe, but like, I'm pretty sure I glaze Destiny all the time.
You guys...
Uh-oh. Empath-Chan.
Okay.
Empath-Chan. Empath-Chan time.
Fuck, I hate that I have to explain this. This is actually distracting from the content, but I think it's important.
Yeah. I wonder, like, Like, I wonder, I wonder, like, how many of like Connor's like audience is like anti-fans? Like, are they all like Destiny fans? Are they like anti-fans? And I wonder, like, what percentage it is. Like, maybe it's 40%, like 60%, like.
Destiny's chat instead of mine, but
Sorry.
you know, this is important. Okay, simple battery. Okay, simple battery is as simple as walking up and poking somebody. That's a crime. No, it's a misdemeanor, but it's a crime.
Oh.
Spitting on somebody can also be a misdemeanor. Okay, but you're not incarcerating somebody who's walking around spitting on people randomly for the misdemeanor. The reason why you're incarcerating them, or the reason why you're detaining them, or the reason why you're knocking them the fuck out is because that's not the first or last time that they're going to do it. If they're victimizing random innocent people and nobody stops them, they will continue to randomly.
Why is he so associating with Doobie? Because he constantly plays footsie with the anti-fans. And he constantly airs out Destiny's grievance, like his grievances with Destiny constantly to DGG, which is not okay. The reason why it's not okay is because he constantly does it. Like there's no such thing as him doing it one time. It's just him doing it over and over again to appease his friend Doobie, which Doobie then leverages like the friendship that he has with Counterpoints in order to spread like crazy anti-fan shit all the time, repeatedly, without stopping. So because Doobie is like so unhinged, like, and obsessed with Destiny and shit like that, like at this point, if you could justify doxing against Doobie, I won't stop you. Okay, like Jesus. Listen, I disavow, okay? I disavow, okay? Harassment not okay, obviously. I'm just saying, an argument can be made, okay? And this is my moral position. I'm just being consistent.
Victimize innocent people until they are stopped. The reason why you protect the homeless as if you're protecting a baby is because the homeless are the most vulnerable members of our society. So if it's mental illness and she needs to be incarcerated in a mental health institution and medicalized or whatever, she needs to be given like lithium or fucking bipolar meds or some shit, that's fine. But you don't tolerate that shit. You don't tolerate that shit for a fucking heartbeat. It's not funny. It's not cute. It's not a meme. There's nothing fucking funny about a motherfucker walking around randomly assaulting people in public. They are a fucking danger to themselves and others.
Wait, hold on. Just curious. Who is defending Empath-Chan spitting on homeless people exactly? I feel like no one is defending that. Who is defending that? Who is he talking to? Like, is he talking to like Empath-Chan's like secret audience, like the Groiper audience? They would probably defend that 100% because they're like horny and or like crazy, right? But like, who exactly is defending this? Why is he saying this? He's talking as if he's like arguing with people, but no one. There's no way people are defending this, right? His shadow. Yeah, but there's no way people are defending Empath-Chan. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I don't know why he's.
So I'm just saying, I'm not taking this shit as a joke. Now, something that somebody said is, oh, well, you're already giving too much grace because she called Darius the N-word. No. Don't misunderstand. So if somebody, I would still consider her insane. Let's say that all the spitting incidents were 5.
See, the difference between Darius and a homeless person is that I wish Darius was homeless so he can learn some lessons about life. And a homeless person probably has more principles than Darius, okay?
5 years old, and her still being a crazy person and saying slurs to people, I would actually consider that a step down from what psychotic people do. So maybe she's on her meds, and now instead of spitting on people, she just calls them nasty words. I would actually think like, okay, I'm not going to associate with you. I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm not going to fuck with you at all. Like you are a social pariah deserving of all of the worst things in life. However, I, wouldn't view calling somebody a slur the same as actually like physically assaulting random innocent people and random homeless people. And so the reason why it might have seemed like there was a tenor shift in the content where we just went from watching a debate, oh, okay, haha, we're going to go to the case thing.
People are saying I don't care about Empath-Chan, which relies on her actions not being that big of a deal. Wrong. Nobody disagrees that Destiny isn't allowed to make friends with pieces of shit. Like, otherwise, why would he make friends with Myron Gaines? Myron Gaines is probably a piece of shit. Okay, Myron Gaines probably set up girls with red pill guys from his podcast, and these girls probably get raped at some point. So yeah, Myron is a piece of shit. All right. It's as simple as that. So nobody ever argues that like Destiny can't make friends with a piece of shit because everyone clearly everyone is okay with Myron. So
we're gonna go to the coverage of the case because it's just gonna be what's popping for a bit. The reason why we're shifting to Empath-Chan right now
probably
is because Steven can make whatever legalistic moral arguments he wants to into why the Pixie case is being misrepresented by Pixie stuff. I've already heard.
Look, I wish nothing but the worst. Okay, for Empath. All right, she does seem like a piece of shit. Okay, but like just like how I wish nothing but the worst for Myron Gaines. Like I said, I hate all Destiny orbiters equally, indiscriminately, without prejudice. That includes Empath-Chan and Counterpoints. So believe me, I'm defending Steven's action here of making a friend out of a piece of shit. Okay? Principally.
Heard all that argumentation. The reason why I'm so alarmed by the Empath-Chan shit is because I don't see any upside.
I mean, don't have accusation, but Myron did that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to cover up rapes. I get it. The thing is Myron 100%, like I would be willing to bet money that at some point in the past or even in the future, that Myron Gaines has probably set up one of the girls with a guy that appeared on his podcast, and they're both degenerate enough, and the red pill guy is crazy enough to essentially take charge and rape a woman that appeared as a guest on his podcast. That, like, yeah, it's pretty, like, just because we don't see it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So I would be the kind of person who would bet money. At least $1, okay?
I don't see any selfishness. I don't see any, even from a sexual perspective, the risk and the danger to this is so fucking crazy to have a woman who randomly physically assaults people in your life.
How can you have more hate for Byron than Empath-Chan? What did I say? What did I say? I said I'm an indiscriminate hater, okay? I hate equally.
Life. You effectively invited a schizophrenic homeless person into your life for the fun of it. Why don't you just fucking play Russian roulette? Why don't you do heroin?
Okay, I might hate Counterpoints a little bit more, just maybe because Counterpoint keeps on taking shots at me every single episode, but okay.
Why don't you fucking skydive without a parachute?
Okay, it's not exactly equally, okay? Because, I mean, if you're...
and see if you can get to somebody else with a parachute. Why don't you go fucking bungee jumping with a rope that's a little bit too long? That would be less torturous than hanging out with effectively a homeless schizophrenic who is only not homeless because they sell their body online. That's the level of stupidity. So I was kind of hoping, maybe I'm naive, I was kind of hoping that Steven would realize that, oh, well, 90% of my relationships have burnt out. The people who are my friends are finding it difficult to defend me. I've lost out on a lot of professional relationships. I've lost out on a lot of personal relationships. I am hurt by the betrayal of other people who I felt would have my back for longer than they did. And I'm angered and saddened by the speed with which they threw me away. I was hoping that that would be an alarm bell to Steven. But what Empath-Chan kind of shows me is that he's
so Darius is black enough to matter if he gets called the N-word and Myron sex traffics women to rapists. You're a retard. Dude, I'm sorry, but I can't imagine in any sane world anyone is going to be defending and sucking on Darius's dick as hard as you are. You're going right onto the ignore list. You're so cringe. I'm sorry, but this guy needs humbling, okay?
Not only is he ignoring the alarm bell, he's looking to make it worse. So if there's some steel man out there, if there's some, actually...
I pray for the day. I pray for the day that Darius is going to become the homeless person that Empath-Chan would spit on. And Darius is the kind of degenerate that would say he likes it.
She's a good person because she does this, that, the other, or hey, it's a marketing technique because they're pushing for this thing, then maybe I'll be happy to hear those fucking arguments because I'm borderline like grasping at fucking anything to find a silver lining to this situation, to bringing a schizophrenic, homeless fucking Nazi into your periphery. I don't see the upside. I see
Like, what's funny to me is that people really want me to just go on an unhinged rant about like Empath-Chan. But like, how much more do you want me to say? Like, I feel like I said already that she's like a piece of shit. I've already conceded she's a piece of shit and like does everything wrong and should probably end up like in prison or something for physical assault. Like, I've already implied all of that and said all of that. Like, what more do you want me to say? Like, I don't even disagree with Connor. I don't disagree with Connor in the fact that like she should probably end up in prison because she does shitty things to homeless people on the streets. Yeah, of course. And she probably gets like the pretty pass or some shit like that, right? But what I'm talking about is adhering to your principles and staying consistent throughout. I'm not talking about like how virtue signaling you want me to be. I'm talking about the consistency of the principle that I have, obviously, right? Yeah, but you know what? I get it. DGGers don't know how to adhere to principles either, okay? They just want Steven to regurgitate all the ideas so then they can copy and paste. But you know what? I copy and paste based off of principles, okay? All right? I copy and paste the right way, all right?
zero.
I get it.
Zero fucking upside. And I see a lot of ignoring of yellow and red flags. So that's not funny to me. There's nothing funny to me about that. There's nothing ironic. There's nobody to blame. That's not funny to me.
If you believe all that, why is it a stretch to think that Destiny hanging out with her is a bad look and just stupid? Yeah, I agree with that. It's a bad look and it looks stupid. But I would never, ever, ever, I would try to minimize that opinion in public just simply because anti-fans would use it. Like, why the fuck would I ever concede that in front of a bunch of anti-fans or a bunch of conservatives if they would never even cede a single piece of ground about Jay Stelk? They don't even cede a single piece of ground on Jay Stelk dating Cherry or any of that shit. Yeah, I don't think I owe them shit, okay? I don't think I owe them shit. I'm sorry. Guess what? Guess what? That's also a principle that I adhere to. Whoa, isn't that crazy how I state principles that I adhere to and I actually adhere to them, no matter whether or not it's on your side or not? Isn't it crazy how even though the principle is against you sometimes, that I am also adhering still to these principles? What? Staying morally consistent like a Giga Chad? Oh my god! Yeah, people never heard of that. People say that they have principles, but they never actually practice the principles themselves, okay? You have to practice the principles even if you don't like them. Sorry, it's just how it is.
Paul says, one day Stephen will goon too close to the sun and will catch the flames. Brother, we are watching Stephen defending himself from a civil court for leaking fucking...
So your opinions are based on the opposite or anti-fans. It's based on a moral calculation that I make adhering to my principles, okay?
leaking sex tapes to a fucking 17-and-a-half-year-old. That's what we're watching right now. This isn't funny to me. And then we're watching that within the context of a girl that he's hanging out with is a fucking Nazi who spits on homeless people. What the fuck? What the fuck am I watching?
You guys remember when I said that in a normal world where people have a wide spectrum of opinions about Destiny and his court case with Pixie, that I would take a more critical position against Destiny? Why do you think I said that? Just, if you don't understand why I said that, it's probably not best to comment as well on the Empath-Chan thing, okay? Because you're clearly missing why I do things or how I do things, right? Because everything I do is based off of an overall greater context moral calculation. Because the greater context is that nobody defends Stephen right. I feel as though morally it feels right. It is right to be the public defender for Stephen. So if there is already a public defender for Stephen, I would not take that position anymore. Because it's a moral calculation. I see that someone is going through something, I believe that they are entitled to their best defense. Even though my actual opinion is way more critical of Destiny, sure. It is. But I'm not willing to hand that over to anti-fans. Or say it repeatedly for anti-fans. Fuck that shit. I've been pretty damn consistent on that, okay? Consistent. You can go back all the way back, okay, to where I started this entire thing. Consistent from day one. Is it just for the better good and you would like to contribute to good in the world? Hell no. Someone else can be James Bond. I just want to live a good life. Leave me alone.
Timothy says, yeah, get upset about Destiny making trash relational decision. What's to be done? Criticize him. You think you don't criticize your friends? What are you talking about? Of course you criticize your friends. Even if Steven was like, you know what, man, that was too far. You criticized my behavior too much. Fuck you. I would view it as my duty. It is my duty to say that I think Steven is socially and sexually stunted. It is my duty to say that if he's hanging out with a Nazi cutter who spits on people, who calls his friends the N-word, that's very fucking stupid. And if he bans me from his Discord or bans me from his Reddit or doesn't want me on stream anymore, I don't think that changes shit about what the fuck I said. What I said is the truth. So if he wants people, if he wants a whole bunch of sycophants, no offense, the reason why everybody fucking disappeared the second that he fucked up is because they were probably to some degree sycophants. They wanted clout, but they didn't want the problem. And so what ended up happening is Steven became more of a problem than he became a avenue to clout. So when he became more of a problem than an avenue to clout, they fucking backstabbed him.
He's not wrong on this. Finally, a correct opinion.
But that's not how I think relationally. Relationally, it's like, yeah, sure, I want clout, I want money, I want fame, I want everything else that every other creator fucking wants. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to fucking brown nose you when you're doing something fucking stupid. But the inverse of not brown nosing you is I'll also tell you the truth on when you're fucking up.
Yeah, but Connor, you do it in public. You're not criticizing him in private. You're not sending him DMs or emails or anything like that. It doesn't matter if he's not checking. Like, when you do it in public, you're servicing the anti-fans. That's why a lot of anti-fans cover your shit specifically, but not anybody else's shit. Like, for example, anti-fans don't typically cover my shit. Even though I go after the anti-fans way more, just simply because I do not do the things they want me to do.
And I think that's being more of a friend than being, number one, a fair weather friend. But number two, also just being like, ha 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 ha.
Also, not only that, Counterpoints still has things to benefit off of Steven. It's not like he's doing this and it's damaging him in any way. Like, he's literally admitted to Steven that, like, this entire drama has benefited him. The Charlie Kirk thing has benefited him. Like, his association with Destiny has benefited him. So he's not actually, like, getting some kind of downgrade from associating with him. I don't know why he's saying this. This is silly.
That's just Steven. You know, he's just a crazy guy. You know, he's just, getting sued for leaking sex tapes. That's just, Steven's just being a silly guy. And by the way, that's why I get like a little defensive when people come to me criticizing me and they're like, oh, you're sweeping for Steven. That's like, no, I'm not. I'm criticizing Steven the whole fucking time. I'm saying probably 60 to 70% of what his critics say. I think I just say it in a way that doesn't come from like vindictive hate.
Can you bring Connor to the water? No, you cannot bring the retarded horse to the water. Connor is the retarded horse. He has the brain tumor. He has the stage 4 dementia, stage 4 brain cancer. You cannot bring the retarded horse to the water, okay? You cannot. You can only lead the water to the retarded horse. You have to spoon feed him the message and spoon feed him the solution. They cannot understand the solution.
Yeah, Officer Nasty says it's not a relationship decision when he puts her in the Unfuck America tour, calling people the N-word. Bro, that's the other thing. It's a professional liability. It's a professional liability to everybody around him. That dude, I'll just be real. Z was like, hey, Destiny's the only person with balls. He's one of the best debaters I've ever seen. He's got clout. He's got, time. He's got energy. He's got money. He's interested in the project. He wants to push the midterms. I think we just got to roll with him because everybody else is too much of a pussy. And I was like, hey, man, like, that's cool. And I agree. But I also think that you just need to be ready for there to be liabilities. And what does fucking Steven do? As soon as he fucking gets out the gate, he invites a fucking Nazi cutter, e-whore, that calls his friend Z.
Jesus. Oh my god. Okay, mix in some misogyny, I guess. I mean, is it better if she's not a prostitute, I guess? Like, if she wasn't a prostitute, would you not have called her e-whore? Jesus. Oh my god.
N-word to the show. What the fuck?
Some blatant misogyny. We'd love to see it. Uncaring king. All right.
Grassroots says, you calling me sexually arseloid is my kink. That's always my worry. with my audience, Grassroots. That's always my concern. Is that when I'm talking shit to my audience, they're actually getting off on it.
You wish.
You lunatics.
Does he call her a whore because she is walking for Steven or something? You know what's kind of funny? What's kind of funny is that like these people would tell Steven to not go to personal insults and attack someone based off of their position and criticize like moderates and stuff like that. But on the other hand, like they are the kinds of people who would like go directly to direct insults, and especially the most nastiest of insults as well. So like they don't practice what they preach. Like they don't just criticize Empath-Chan and say what like she gets, like what you think she deserves. No, they have to go the additional step of calling her e-whore, which by the way, I'm totally okay with. Okay. Like the thing is that like I am okay with that. But the thing is, again, you yourself is a hypocrite because you want to preach kitchen table issues and you want to preach appealing to moderates. Meanwhile, you want to have your cake and eat it too? Fuck off.
No, I'm saying Cutter. So I'll pull it up, man. Not YouTube, Twitter. So, you know, this is my experience. And by the way, there's people in my life who I love, who, you know, I have extended family, who have engaged in self-harm. And not just that, I have arguably, I put a cigarette out on my hand one time when I was like 17. You know how you can like lick your hand and then put a cigarette out on your hand or whatever, like a party trick, and it doesn't burn you? I did that on the top of my hand without a cigarette, without licking the spot first, just basically like to prove I wasn't a pussy. But when you said like, what's a cutter? This is her. So this is a cigarette burn. I already know. Cigarette burn. Maybe that's a cigarette burn. Razor, 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 razor. That's a big one too. That's wide. Razor, 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 razor. This is body modification, or
I cannot imagine ever doing anything like this. I've never had any thoughts of harming or suicidal thoughts or anything like this. That's crazy. This is crazy. Okay. Also, please just put this off the screen. It's making me feel uncomfortable.
or this is self-harm. So yeah, God forbid a girl be relatively normally severely bored and decide to LARP as a crazy person online for kicks and relative fame. Yes, I'm very normal. You're right. So somebody's saying like, oh, you're faking how crazy you are. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm actually legitimately fucking crazy. So again, what the fuck?
So someone who has suicidal thoughts or self-harms is not necessarily crazy. How do you define crazy? There's plenty of people who are with normal perspectives and with normal shit, but like they self-harm and they're suicidal. Just because they rolled the bad luck on genetics, right? Because sometimes it really is a bad roll on genetics and they're just kind of fucked, right?
I can't scroll too much further because it's probably going to be sensitive. But again, like what are we doing here? What are we doing here, chat? Harvey Marby says, how long did it take you to realize that he was a sociopath? It was probably the Darius stream. It was Melina and Darius. And by the way, I think this was 2022. Melina, Darius, Destiny.
You think self-harm is for crazy people? I think that crazy people can self-harm and there's probably a large overlap. But like, how do you even define crazy? How do you define, because there's like people who I've known before who are normal fucking people, but they just, when they get sad, their mind automatically goes to self-harm just because that's what they're used to in the past, but they've gotten better over time. So like, yeah.
Dog stream in the 10K dog debate. So this one, Punish Destiny, this one. So this was in 2022 and it was part of the Mr. Girl report. And by the way, this kind of showed me that Melina's a fucking sociopath too. Darius IRL and Melina argue.
I will say it's something you need to fix. Okay, like if you're still self-harming or you're still like having thoughts like that, you do need to seek treatment.
about her comments in about a dog, about the 10K dog and how she treats him in her last vacation. This is August 29th, 2022. So I realized that Steven was probably mildly sociopathic. Like, I don't think he actually murders cats. Although, I don't know. But I don't think he actually murders cats for fun. But
Okay.
maybe. And in this conversation, he's basically having Darius and Melina, despite the Lauren Southern thing going on in the background, he has Darius and Melina fight it out over whether or not Darius should spend $10,000 to save a puppy's life who has parvo. And Melina basically says, you're bad with your money. You're a piece of shit. You don't know what you're doing. You're an asshole. And Steven's kind of laughing the whole time. This is where I realized that Steven was mildly sociopathic. So about 3 years.
Yeah, that's not okay for Steven to do, but I understand why he did it. Like, obviously, he would side with his wife at the time, right? In public, rather than it is to side with Darius, right? Does that make sense? If you like a puppy enough, you would spend thousands of dollars to save them, but it could also be an effect of like your upper class upbringing, right? Darius reminds me of the kind of person who is like upper class, middle upper class, right? So if he wants to save his puppy with $10,000, sure. But at the same time, like some people just kind of recognize that they don't have enough money to save someone like that, right? Or save a beloved pet. That's a lot of money to contribute towards the saving of an animal. $10,000 is no joke, and it's not a meme. But if you love your dog or cat enough to do that, then I am for it. And you probably shouldn't laugh at it. It's probably not good to laugh at it. So I don't think Steven looked the best there, but I understand why he did it. You have to kind of back up your wife in that one a little bit. But
Timothy Douglas says, it's my duty. Absolutely, 100% agree. But I'm more confused about how this is surprising. Destiny inviting a terrible character to an event is not a surprise at all. I agree. However, what I think should be surprising at this point is that it's all risk. There's no gain. This is a very poorly thought out choice. Like it's self-destructive. Now you could say like, oh, he was self-destructive in 22, 23, 24. But then what Dan said, Dan Salt Man said, what I'm going to hope is that Steven is like a cat who stove and realizes that he shouldn't touch the stove anymore. In my opinion, this looks like Steven touching the stove again. He just got burned November 29th, 2024. He just got burned again January 20th, 2025, when all this shit dropped in public. He just got burned again by the fact that this case is not done yet. And he was already a professional liability before Empath-Chan. So please tell me what the upside is. Tell me what the upside is. With Lauren Southern, I borderline understand the upside. The upside is Lauren Southern is probably one of the most prominent dissident right-wing people. So debating her, hanging out with her, being her friend or whatever, there's a huge upside to being Lauren Southern's friend. When it comes,
wait, what? But I don't think that's why Steven did it. We all know that's not the reason why Steven did it. The reason why Steven was hanging out with her was because they were fucking. What? Huh? No, he's not cooking. He's creating an alternate set of reasonings that is valid for Steven to take when it comes to Lauren Southern. But the reason why they were hanging out was because they were together. And like, yeah. That's not... Okay, dude. All right, man. I get it. It's fine.
Nick Fuentes, there's a huge upside. Destiny is almost like gear. He's almost made to debate the dissident.
Also, yeah, it was confirmed that like Destiny and Lauren Southern were a thing. It is confirmed beyond the shadow of a doubt. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, it was confirmed in Lauren Southern's book, in what the anti-fans revealed when Destiny was going after DK at the time for revealing that. And that's what caused the initial like Chud Logic severing from DGG thing in the first place, and Chud Logic sided with his editor instead of Steven. Like that was the catalyst for so many things. But for the Empath-Chan stuff, like, yeah, nobody knows whether or not they're fucking or not. Who the fuck knows? Okay? Like, you're really thinking that Destiny can't be friends with pretty girls? Okay, maybe yes, maybe not. I mean, I know that Pixie certainly does not help, but whatever. I don't at this point, like if there's no confirmation, I'm not going to draw any obvious conclusions. I'll put it at a 60% chance. Okay.
Right wing on their own talking points in their own, like in the proverbial lion's den, and to come off rhetorically and ideologically gifted. Even if a dissident right-wing person doesn't agree with Stephen, they at least understand his argumentation. And they might even have a level of cognitive dissonance that makes them fall out of love with the far right. So Stephen is actually built for those relationships. Being friends with Lav, well, no, hold on. Being friends with Nick, being friends with Lauren totally makes sense to me. And then what makes sense to me for Lav and Mr. Girl is, number one, they were excellent drama content. But number two, they were also so controversial that they made Stephen look tame. And so as a result, I think a lot of the hatred that Stephen himself would have received was burned off by Mr. Girl and burned off by Lavloon because they're such controversial characters. So there's a pragmatic level. He probably enjoys it. He probably enjoys being in a relationship with all those people. He probably has, you know, some level where he genuinely appreciated Lav, Mr. Girl, Nick, Lauren. He probably had some genuine feelings about them. But there was also a pragmatic level that makes sense. Tell me the pragmatic level that makes sense for Empath-Chan. Tell me the personal level that makes sense. What is she bringing to the table politically, personality-wise, clout-wise? What is she bringing to the table except for liability? She seems like an extreme personal and political and social liability. So somebody else explain it to me. I do not see any upside.
The website gained so much traction that it crashed repeatedly, to my understanding, to my knowledge.
Why would you analyze it based off of a upside downside situation? I think that Stephen presents himself as a very logical person, but I think deep down he's just as emotional as the rest of us. Okay.
Tristan Clark says, is Stephen the type to push positive influence in his life away when they confront his bad behavior? Listen, man, I would consider myself, you know, a friend to Stephen. I don't know how he views our relationship. I have no idea. I don't know where the professional starts and the personal starts. I have no fucking idea. But what I would say, what did I say? What was the last two things that I said to him? I said, don't use Foodshops as a weapon because I think that her perspectives on Lolicon reflect poorly on you. And whatever tactical benefit you're getting from using her as a weapon against Queenman and the A-loggers, I don't think you're getting that much of a benefit. So that was one of my advices. So basically distance yourself from a freak.
Do you guys remember when Steven was in here and I was trying to convince Steven of how amazing Lolly is? Remember when I was literally trying to convince Steven how great like being a lolicon is? Do you guys remember that? Because I certainly don't.
And then I think my other thing was like, stop fucking up, right? Like stop doing crazy shit. And I would say this is the opposite. This is the opposite.
Wait, how am I just catching strays constantly? What? I feel like I don't even stray Connor this much. See, this is why I don't feel bad about like making other people catch strays when I commentate on other things. Like, this is heinous.
You know, Z doesn't care, right? Bullshit. I've talked to Z probably more than any. I've talked to Z. Besides people who actually work for Unfuck America, I've talked to Z probably more than anybody else.
FFS.
Swear to God. Swear to God.
True. Thank you so much for the $5. Yeah, dude, I am living so rent free in his mind. You have no idea. I am the most. Oh my God, I'm so rent free. You have no idea. I'm super rent free.
I've talked to Z. I've talked to. I forget her friend's name. It might be Steven. Might not be Steven. It might be Michael. Might not be Michael. It might be Christopher. I forget. I'll look up the text message. But I've talked to Z about optical considerations. I've talked to Z about Unfuck America. I've talked to Z about Charlie Kirk. So I'm not saying I'm psychic. I'm not saying I know everything that Z is saying, but I'm saying besides people who work for Unfuck America, I probably know more about Unfuck America than anyone who is not directly involved. So no, bullshit. Bullshit. Z does care, but she has to balance the mission of Unfuck America versus what each creator brings to the game. And Steven brings a lot, but he also brings a lot of liability.
Are we sure Connor is not an anti-fan? Trying to go behind Steven's back to try to concern troll. I don't think he's concern trolling, to be fair. I think he's actually concerned, but I do. Connor has beaten you to the betrayal. Honestly, I think that Connor, at this point, like based off of all the things that he's been doing, talking to Doobie on stream, taking in Doobie's words, getting Doobie's whispers, listening to Queenman, replicating his dialogue, listening to Jay Stoke, like based off of everything that Connor has been doing, and then Connor talking about Destiny's crimes constantly on his stream more than politics, I am beginning to think that this might constitute as a betrayal. But in his mind, from Connor's mind, he thinks that he is doing the right thing. That's the thing. Is that from Connor's perspective, he thinks that he's doing the right thing, but he's doing everything an anti-fan would do, period. Like, he's just doing everything an anti-fan would be doing, okay?
Uwu, schizo, fucking home. I was standing there as a law enforcement officer with a fucking gun on my hip and a badge on my chest, and I watched people get into fist fights, and I watched them spit on each other. And what I did immediately is I grabbed them by their wrist and their elbow, I spun them in a circle, I put them into the fucking ground, I put them into handcuffs, and I took them to a jail cell. Right? So you guys might just be seeing, oh, there's this cutesy uwu schizo fucking homeless girl.
Nobody sees it like that. What? Who is defending her in DGG? What? Is this just like an anti-fan narrative that he just simply is accepting as fact now? Guys, this has to be an anti-fan narrative that he's just simply accepting as fact now, right?
Running around spitting on people, isn't that fucking funny? That's not funny. Number one, that's not funny to me. Number two, basically my instinct as soon as I see that shit is like, grab their wrist, grab their elbow, put them into the fucking ground, put them into handcuffs, and take them to jail. It's so antisocial. It's so inhuman. It's so fucking stupid. And I have dealt with plenty of nefarious characters in Twitch and YouTube politics. And
yeah,
yet,
like you.
If I see people willingly, repeatedly committing crimes against innocent people, willingly, repeatedly committing crimes against homeless people, I'm just going to let you know, it's triggering me, man. It's triggering me. I'm thinking back to all the times that if I saw somebody fucking do that, I put them in the ground, I put them in cuffs, I put them in jail. And that's what she deserves, by the way. She deserves to be incarcerated. She deserves to be put in a mental health facility. That's what she deserves. She doesn't deserve to be hanging out, yucking it up with a bunch of politics.
This is like deeply parasocial. I hope you guys also realize that, right? Who Steven hangs out with, like literally who gives a fuck? The only, like, this is once again just another level of like parasocialism as well gone wrong. Because he wants to be in Empath-Chan's position. He puts himself out there as like this person who is free to be hung out with Destiny anytime. And he really wants to hang out with Destiny. But, okay.
People. She doesn't deserve to be walking around fucking free doing nothing.
How is this parasocial if they're IRL friends? Oh, okay. Okay, I guess that's a point. Okay, yeah, but that should be none of his business. Especially when Connor himself says that he would be friends with Steven if Steven was a massive piece of shit. Okay, if you're willing to stand on that, then why can't Steven be friends with pieces of shit?
Nazi salutes and joking about shooting protesters, she should be in a mental health facility. So, yeah, fuck this. Fuck this is what I have to say so far.
I like how even when he's going over like one of the more important videos of Destiny's drama, of like his friend's drama, that he gives the anti-fan talking points so much air. Such a great friend. And you know, why do you need enemies in the first place?
Okay, you guys are putting it in a super vulgar way, but effectively what you're saying is women, crazy women with crazy bedroom behavior is the prize. But dude, when is enough enough, man? When is enough enough? I already shared the God hole clip from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Dennis Reynolds is talking about how he doesn't believe in God.
I've never seen these DGGers before. Now, I don't know every single DGGer, not even close, but I would be highly skeptical who these people are.
And so he's trying to fill the hole in his soul with women. And of course, they use a vulgar term for women. And I normally play that comedically. I obviously play that comedically because it's so funny. I'm not finding this funny. I think this is like a compulsion. All right. Anyways.